just to show the strength that we have in this combined setup, right? This is a really interesting situation coming up right here. So we're starting to fly. The shield is blocking damage and amplifying our built-in laser weapon damage. First guy goes down through his absorber shield. Second guy almost died before he could even start to fly through his absorber shield, right? Then we have a Titan here who uses his reflector. Then this guy comes out of his flight ability. I'm dropping him again through the absorber shield due to the legendary pilot. Same thing with him right here. Pop, this guy goes down. And now comes the built-in weapon damage from the Fafnir against Titans into play, which means that this freaking luchador takes damage so much because of this heavily amplified, boosted, built-in laser. What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome to the laser Fafnir returning to the game. Ladies and gentlemen, we all knew this setup as the Skadi Fafnir back in the days. Remember the time with the super overpowered Skadi weapon on the flying Fafnir? Of course, now the Fafnir is slower in the air, so it's not quite the same, but the weapon itself, the new weapon that we have, YEOJE or whatever this thing is called, I will never be able to pronounce it, the new 800-meter laser that's way overpowered in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. This thing brings the Fafnir back to its former glory, maybe even better, because now you can fire at 800 meters range, which the Skadi before only did with 600. We should be faster, of course. We all know that the nerf that the Fafnir got was, as usual, way overkill. And at this point, I'm wondering why it's still in place. I think they should give the Fafnir a lot of its speed back, because it's not overpowered anymore. I mean, we have way more powerful robots like now. Look at the freaking angler, man. And when I see this thing, I just want to exit the battle at this point. Seriously, this thing is so stupid. But yeah, so the Fafnir is really not a threat anymore to the game's health or balancing or whatever. At this point, please buff it the speed by 25% at the very least in the air. Maybe even 30%, because this thing used to be mobile and it's really, really so slow now. And it takes away a lot of strategic options you have during your flight and gameplay. Anyways, this video here is about the setup in total regarding the the Fafnir itself, as well as the new laser weapons. You now have a heavy tank. The Fafnir is still relatively tanky on the ground, has some resistance, has a decent amount of health. It's not quite a Fenrir, but it's definitely tanky. It's not a pushover on the ground. When you start to fly, that absorber shield helps you out for a while, unless you get shield break. That's when you shouldn't use it, obviously, because you lose all resistance in the air. But yeah, so here we are in a situation where I can show you the combined power of the laser as well as the built-in laser from the Fafnir himself that is heavily boosted because they were all shooting into my shield before. Take a look at how fast this Capri goes down, and that is a Capri. It's a very tanky robot, and he goes down so quickly after I finally fired over his cover. And that was with the combined firepower of built-in laser as well as the mounted weapons on it, right? And these new weapons have an advantage over other weapons that have long range, is that they fire, well, they obviously have 800 meters range, but they also fire with they fire with full maximum firepower, also at short range. And this is exactly the point that I'm criticizing about these weapons, is that they, although they are snipers, they also are brawlers, and that makes no sense in my opinion. A healthy game needs to have snipers be weak in brawling distance, or simply don't offer the firepower altogether that a brawler would have in short range. But this weapon does offer this firepower like a brawler, but it offers it at up to 800 meters range with no difference to in short range. And I think what Pixonic has done with the Prisma weapon actually makes a lot of sense, because this is showing exactly what I'm talking to, what I'm telling you right now. They've made a sniper weapon that is insanely powerful, maybe even overpowered at the sniping range, but that's its traits. That's what it's supposed to be good at, right? And if you go in short range with it, you'll find that this thing barely does any damage anymore, because it's a sniper, and you should lose the battle against a brawler with it, right? In short range. And so that is makes a lot of sense in my opinion, and it's well thought out. Not so much with this weapon here. Look how much damage this guy just took, and how fast I broke his physical shield too. That was a full shell robot. he couldn't make it 20 meters before he got destroyed from 100% HP. Then I just swapped to this guy, drop him by 50%, and then I swapped to him down there and drop him by 50% because continuous reload, right? Not like, for example, this guy who has, well, he also has a continuous reload, but it's a fast continuous reload that this beam has. Because, you know, it's not really a reload at all. What it is, it's a heating over. It's a heat up thing. It's heating up, and then you need to cool it down a little, and then you can fire with full firepower again. So it's kind of like reloading because you need to wait for a second, but it's really just a very short time that you need to wait. And then you can go back to full firepower pretty much, and that means there isn't really technically a reload at this point, and it goes very quickly. So again, even that part outperforms brawlers, dedicated brawlers at any range, because dedicated brawlers such as, for example, Havoc Scatter or whatever, they have a continuous reload, but it reloads really slow, right? When you're empty, you're empty. Not to mention weapons such as cryo weapons, or Orkan's Exodus, or other weapons that require a reload, right? And so yeah. Here it's good that I can fly. I could show the strength of the Fafnir. There was a Mars robot, and I just stay in the air and fly with Svyatogor Belov as the legendary pilot, who allows us to bypass all energy shields for the full time we're flying, right? That used to be overpowered. Nowadays, not really anymore. So yeah, it's a very useful thing when you fight a Mars robot, or a Cerberus, an Erebus, or one of those robots, Typhon, right? Robots that have energy shields, or even when you fight metabots such as the Seraph right there, that will probably, most likely, pop up this absorber shield in between, and that you can just completely ignore. I mean, look what we're doing right here. Just to show the strength that we have in this combined setup, right? This is a really interesting situation coming up right here. So we're starting to fly. The shield is blocking damage and amplifying our built-in laser weapon damage. First guy goes down through his absorber shield. Second guy almost died before he could even start to fly through his absorber shield, right? Then we have a Titan here who uses his reflector. Then this guy comes out of his flight ability. I'm dropping him again through the absorber shield due to the legendary pilot. Same thing with him right here. Pop, this guy goes down. And now comes the built-in weapon damage from the Fafnir against Titans into play, which means that this freaking luchador takes damage so much because of this heavily amplified, boosted, built-in laser. I unfortunately got slowed and killed here, but that was an incredibly powerful situation, and it showed you how strong the Fafnir can still be. Although it's just that I really wish it would get some mobility back at this point. Yeah, so nice third shot, dropping that Seraph instantly as he comes out of his ability. That's the good thing, or the crazy thing about the glaive weapon, if we're honest, is that you can fire the first two shots at nothing, right? And then boom! Have that third shot ready to instantly delete whatever comes next around the corner in one single hit. Here, I'm ready for it, full power, pam. There goes the Falcon. Yeah, so here's another Minos Titan. Meanwhile shooting at the Lucha, but of course he also has a reflector, because every Titan must have that, or has some kind of invincibility during flight. But yeah, so let's go back into the next situation. This time we're sniping, and what we're sniping against is pretty crazy. We're sniping against a laser behemoth, right? Probably not fully maxed with the perfect drone setup and everything, but it's still a behemoth with 4 heavy weapons, and we're winning this fight no problem, because we also have a lot of resistance, and it seems like he also has some Avengers. He has some lasers, and he has some Avengers on it, or no, Smutas, and that's why some of his weapons actually can't even reach me. So okay, I admit, it's not a surprise to see us winning this battle, but it's still quite a surprise to see him how fast he drops, because a behemoth is actually quite a tanky tank. Did I just say tanky tank? A tanky robot, and yeah, it's not so easy to take down. It takes quite some effort, and this thing had the effort effortlessly. Man, I'm really bringing the words now, huh? And repeating them. This right there is I don't know. Oh, it's a Seraph. It's a Seraph who didn't fly immediately, and by the time he reached his high altitude and resistance, he already almost lost his robot there. Pretty crazy. So, pop, there he goes, and he falls into 1,000 pieces and falls to the ground. Very nice. Just got myself a nice shield, 165,000 durability. That used to be 250,000 if you remember. But the Northlight has been weakened, and I think rightfully so. So, definitely a good choice there, Pixonic, because the overlapping stacking shields you could give yourself were kind of overkill at this point. You could. There are times I ran around with 2 million shields. That is. I don't think that should be happening, to be honest. Look at this guy. He just spawns his Harpy. And before he can even really reach the high altitude, he's already destroyed with his Harpy. Then he spawns the next robot. This time it's a Seraph, and I'm busy firing at something else. But I still have the option to enter into that flying mode with the Absorber Shield for a few seconds, blocking most of his damage, landing perfectly behind cover as I fall. He's triggering an airstrike on me with the Orion battleship, but thankfully you can counter the damage with a healing. Which I did right here, so I still kept my last stand. And now I'm firing at an enemy, what's it called? Our Ming Titan up there. That is pretty sick. Look at how much damage he's taking. And he's out of his range. I mean, he's got laser sniper weapons, and I have more range than he does. He can't even fight back. Unfortunately, though, I'm getting attacked by everyone and their cat. Gotcha. This time I said cat, not dog. Yeah, so I just can't finish him off, man. No matter how much effort I put in, I just can't finish him off. He's just gonna do this to me. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that was the video, the return of the laser Fafnir. Tell me what you think about it. And yeah, catch you in the next video, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Manni signing off. Why is it so scribbly here? So pixelated. It shouldn't be like this. That makes me more happy. Yeah. So see you around. Bye bye.